Hello, hello, hello. Kissing up to God, giving him all the glory, all the honor, and all the praises. Thanking him for another day, thanking him for a do-over, thanking him for another year of life. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am your Southern Belle. Hi! I pray all is well with everybody. Today I told one of my coworkers that I would come on with this because of a conversation that we had. The empty nest. You know, when you're growing up, you can't wait. Oh, I can't wait until I'm grown to get out this house. And the parents are, I can't wait until y'all grown so y'all can get out of my house. You know? And sometimes once they're grown and do get out of your house, can the marriage withstand that? Or can the relationship withstand that? And let me read what the empty nest syndrome is first, and then we'll get into that, okay? The empty nest syndrome is actually in the Google. It describes the emotional mixed parents may experience when their children leave home and start their adult life. It is not a clinical diagnosis, but it can be a very real and complex issue. Parents may feel grief, loneliness, loss, and sadness, and struggle with the loss of identity and purpose. Some parents may feel relieved and excited for free time, while others may feel depressed and anxious. That word struggle with the loss of identity and purpose is what I want to really pinpoint because when you're raising kids, it's all about them. It's well, back in the day, I don't know what's going on right now, but when you're raising kids, it's all about them. It's what the things that you do is for them. Sometimes the places you go is for them. Um, Movies that you watch is for them. So once you become a parent, it's all about the children and what you can do with your children, or the things that you do with your children, or vacations or whatever with your children. And once these kids become adults and they leave the home, then what? The reason I say this is because my coworker came to work one day, very, very, like in a frizzy, like upset. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, "What's going on with you?" She's like, "I can't stand my husband." I'm like, "Whoa," because now that the kids are gone, you got to deal with that with who you're married to, because when they're there, you have them to always keep things going. Do you know what I mean? Well, if you never had that type of relationship or whatever, but I'm saying the kids keep the excitement sometimes in the home. They keep things going. They can give you something to look forward to sometimes. And once they're gone, you got to look across to that man or that woman. And a lot of times they miserable. Sometimes you don't even know who you're married to. You know who you got married to in the beginning, all the love and, but then you start having children and all the family together and all that stuff. And you talking, so you figure if your child leave by 18 or 19. So you talk 18, 19, 20 years of doing this thing over and over again with your family. And now they're gone. And that empty nest syndrome kicks in. Because now what we gonna do? Vacations aren't the same. You sit down to dinner, it's just you and him. Sometimes he ain't there, sometimes she's not there. And you find yourself alone and you find yourself lonely. And you want them out, but then as soon as they get ready to come home, you're excited. I know that's the way my parents were. I'm from down south. So every time I got to come home, it was always excitement in the air. Jennifer's coming home, Jennifer's coming home, they was excited, you know, but what's going on when you're not there? Sometimes they don't even talk. Like you said, you don't even like the person. And now the purpose is gone because, see, you forget yourself. You forget who you are because you're so busy doing what you do for your children. And it's almost like you don't have a purpose anymore. Like, now what? I mean, I do. I mean, I found myself doing things. I don't feel like that. I just had one to raise. But if you got a house full of kids, but I've always had a lot of kids around, because I helped raise my son's siblings, and so I've always had my house was always like full of children. So I've always had that type of environment around me, and I miss it sometimes. But there's sometimes when it's like, shoot, I get the keys, I do what I want to do, I go what I want to go, play what I want to play. But some people don't feel like that. Some people feel like if they don't have that house full, or if that's not there, then some of them, I can understand the loneliness and maybe the depression, or maybe oh, now what? And divorces happen a lot of times. People don't even deal with each other. They don't even get along once the kids are gone. Once that empty nest come about, and that's what we do. We have kids so we can raise them to go out and be adults and have their own families. But some people don't know how to let go. They want to hold on to their kids or whatever. Hold on. Find things to do. Find your purpose. Because your purpose, you did what you're supposed to have done by raising your children. Find out who you are again. Find out what is your purpose. Because it's got to be more than raising children. You got to have something more to do than that. Find happiness again. You know what I mean? Do the things that you couldn't do because financially you couldn't. Well, right now, financially, none of us probably can, but I'm just saying, financially you couldn't. And you always had to take him to football practice, basketball practice. I know my son drove me crazy raising him. He was in all kinds of stuff, dragging me all over. You talking about palpitating, my heart would be palpitating sometimes. I'm like, okay, calm down. But find out who you are. Find your purpose in life. Because as I stated, it couldn't have been just raising kids. It's got to be more to life than that. Get a hobby. I don't know. Go to the gym, do anything, do something for you. Because you've done the difficult part. And raising children is not an easy task, especially if you're trying to raise them, especially now today in this world. But raising children is difficult sometimes. And especially if you want them a certain way. And once they are that way, sit back and be proud. But do you, boo. Enjoy you. Find out who you are. Try to make that relationship work. Find out who your mate is again. Do things with just you and him. And you might be surprised. Because the ones that do end up in divorce, or the ones that do end up not being together, maybe it really wasn't nothing there in the first place. Because once they're gone, you should still have some type of connection that kept you there besides your children. Or did you? Good question. I like to have those little questions. But if anybody wants to comment, please comment and let me know if you do have an empty nest and how does it feel. I feel fine. I feel great. I can do what I want to do. I don't even have to cook. I come in and make a peanut butter sandwich and be happy. Shoot, we got to rush home and cook. Then you got to take them here, got to take them there. Everything is, you surround yourself with them. And then once they're gone, you forget you. Find out who you are. Find your identity and your purpose. Because we all have one. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jennifer Bruce. Continue to subscribe, continue to come on, continue to like, comment if you would like. I would really appreciate it. And I am doing the Daniel fast. I'm going to keep talking about that. If anybody want to join me, seek.afristreet.org is where you can register, and they will send you an app, and you can do everything on your phone and have it on your homepage like I do. It starts January the 12th. Come on, guys. Let's get a different life. Find yourself again. Okay? Thank you so much. My name is Jennifer Brooks. I am your Southern Belle, and I am on the right road now. All right, guys. You have a blessed day. Now you're here. God bless.